Mr. Stitchy, Mr. Stitchy, Mr. Stitchy. So who do we think that Mr. Stitchy is actually going to be in the Roblox Piggy storyline? Well, today guys, I'm going to be going through my predictions as to who I believe it is going to be. And we are going to be doing today's prediction old school style, and I feel like I've got a pretty good idea as to who I think Mr. Stitchy is going to be. But before we get into the video, if you guys are new around here, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, because it does help out the video and channel tremendously. So the biggest talking point in Piggy so far is who is Mr. Stitchy. So last weekend we did have a Halloween update. In that update, you then had an Easter egg skin to try and collect, and that Easter egg skin is Mr. Stitchy. So far, I have sat back on this topic and I've kind of had a little look around as to what I think is going on, all of these sort of predictions as to who I think could be correct, and I'm not so sure if I've actually seen any that I agree with yet. You know me, I always come up with the most wackiest of sort of like predictions, but you know what? I tend to be normally on the right lines. So what I'm going to do first, guys, is I am going to go through all of the notes that we did actually receive in this update. So first up, we are going to go to the one in the forest. So this one is do not draw the house with light. It will draw him too. Now, just saying, I feel like IKEA has had a big part in this Halloween update. IKEA is the queen of creepiness. She does a really good job of kind of bringing this genre into Piggy. She does a really good job with making everything look extremely creepy. So I feel like this isn't really Minitoon doing this. I feel like this is IKEA's. IKEA's knows what she's getting at here. Oh, and also, if you didn't know who IKEA's is the co-creator of Piggy. So Minitoon owns Piggy and IKEA's helps him out. Next up, we are going to be taking you to the carnival map. Now, there are actually two notes in the carnival, and we're going to start with the one that actually is maybe the most exciting to speak about. So this one says, when he learnt of my condition, he grew sad and frustrated. He left. Well, who could this be talking about right here? Well, we're going to be getting into this towards the end of the video, guys. Next note in the carnival says, someone began to disrupt the countryside. The descriptions of witnesses matched his look. I never saw him again. Now, this note is a little bit over the place, guys. I'm not going to lie. This one doesn't really make an awful lot of sense. But in a second, we are going to try and make a little bit of sense out of this note. And the next note is in the school map. So what you have to do is you have to complete the entire map and you have to open up the exit door. Once you've opened up the exit door, just like in the Alley's map, you're just going to go into like a third person sort of view and just look around the corner, and this note will be there waiting for you. So this note then says, I gave him a face. I was his only friend. Now, I have a funny feeling that these notes are not just one person. I feel like these notes are actually coming from different people. I gave him a face. I was his only friend. Now, I feel like this could well be speaking about Mr. P, because we were his only friend, or whoever was his only friend. However, giving him his face, we know that Mr. P changed dramatically in, well, the end of chapter 11 going into chapter 12 of book 1, because he actually had a massive change. He had that eye on his face. He had all of the mechanical stuff going on. I don't know, guys, I feel like something crazy is going on here. But I really feel like these notes are from different people.
Do not draw the house with light. It will draw him too.
I mean, if that's not just the completely most random sort of lines you've ever heard in your life, then I don't know what is. It sounds like something out of a movie. These notes are very sort of hard to understand, guys. But what this note is just basically speaking about is to do with light and the house. And if you draw the light, it will draw him too. It's kind of just basically that. Now, I feel like there's a little bit more of a reason behind this note, and at the moment, I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't really make sense to me. This really sounds like something IKEA's has made. And so the next note, someone began to disrupt the countryside. The descriptions of witnesses matched his look, I never saw him again. So obviously whoever this is talking about, it is a male character. Someone began to disrupt the countryside. What does that even mean? It just doesn't make sense. How could you possibly disrupt the countryside? I mean, these are very sort of hard notes to understand. But whatever this person has done, there were witnesses and the descriptions of the witnesses matched his look. So let's say, for example, they are talking about Mr. Stitchy at this point. You know, the witnesses could have seen him disrupting the countryside, whatever that means, and then they said he had a weird teddy head on, and he was also very tall and very slim.
And then they never saw him again.
Man, if these are not like the most hardest notes to understand, I don't know what is, man. But anyway, this note is the most exciting note out of them all. When he learnt of my condition, he grew sad and frustrated. He left. Alright, so I know that Creekcraft has made a video, guys, and obviously, yeah, please don't go angry at me just because I'm not agreeing with Creekcraft. Now, Creek does think that this is to do with Mrs. P, but the only thing that I think is that if Mr. Stitchy is a male, we get that, Mr. Stitchy, how can this now be Mrs. P? It just doesn't make sense. I really don't believe that whoever this is going to be a female. I feel like Mr. Stitchy is going to be a male, and that is going to lead into a second as to who I think this is going to be. Now, I'm not saying that Creekcraft is wrong. He could be completely right. You know, it could be possible that Mrs. P then decided to have a gender change. I mean, it's very, very hard to believe, but he could be right. We remember what that little opinion word means, right, guys? We all know that word, opinion. It means we're all entitled to what we're allowed to think. So we know that somebody is out there with a condition. What could this condition be? Yes, it could be Mrs. P. She could have this condition. He grew sad and frustrated. He left. But what this growing sad and frustrated, that kind of, to me, sounds like disappointment. Do you guys know what I mean? Like, whatever this condition is, they were hiding the fact that they had this condition, and they grew sad and frustrated. I mean, yes, it could be Mrs. P with her condition, and then he kind of grew sad and frustrated, but to me, I don't really feel like that's actually going to make any sense. I feel like there is a condition out there at the moment that we don't really know about, or do we? So here is my prediction as to who Mr. Stitchy is going to be, and honestly guys, I know it's going to sound far-fetched, and I feel like I took a side before this one because I feel like a lot of you guys are gonna be like, no, it's not going to be him. Alright, I'm just gonna say it. I feel like it's going to be George. But before you go to my comment section, just hold up. I'm gonna give you guys some evidence, okay? I'm gonna give you guys a reason as to why I think that Mr. Stitchy is George. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take you back into the distorted memory map. Now guys, we kind of learnt from this distorted memory map that George was in fact some form of monster, because in the end cutscenes he says something along the lines of, oh no, not again. So we know that something is happening here, guys, and we know that something has happened to George in the past. And now what I'm going to do just very quickly is I'm going to show you guys an image of Mr. Stitchy, and I want you to take a very, very close look to that right eye. So as you can see, that right eye is in fact a hollow red circle. Now in the distorted memory map, we know that in the garden there were those eyes up in the sky of those circular red eyes. Now I really feel like those circular red eyes are actually linking to Mr. Stitchy. Could this Mr. Stitchy be George's nightmare? Could this Mr. Stitchy be George? Let's not forget that the distorted memory map was all of George's nightmares, and having those eyes up in the sky is kind of haunting on him. I feel like those eyes that were in the sky were George, because whatever happened to him at the end of distorted memory had happened to him before. Now I know what you're saying. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that this Mr. Stitchy has one white eye. Now this is a completely made up theory. Now this is just a theory that I've completely made up in the back of my head. What if George is changing? What if George, we have to save George basically, and his whole body, Mr. Stitchy, is all changing, and we have to kind of like get a vaccine before it's too late. Now I will say this with the white eye, there is one other character out there that also has the same white eye once infected, and that character is Pony. But for this video, guys, I'm not going to get into that, because on that little topic, I don't really have any sort of like theories on that so far. But my guess here is that Mr. Stitchy has to be a male, and I feel like that this male is going to be George. I really can't see how this Mr. Stitchy is actually going to be a female. Yes, I get that this whole condition thing and stuff going on, but also don't forget, guys, George also has a condition. He is turning into a monster. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below, guys. I feel like I would be really excited to hear what you guys think, because I feel like I'm getting on the right sort of lines. But anyway, guys, chapter 3 is going to be coming up this weekend, and Minitoon has said that it is going to be huge and that it is going to be his favorite chapter so far. So guys, make sure to keep an eye out for that one, because it is going to be amazing. Tiny little bit more update, we also have the song in the works for chapter 2. It has taken some time. I know we have had 4 weeks off from chapter 2 to chapter 3, but we are working on the song. Myself and B-Slick, it is being worked on. And a lot of you guys did enjoy the concept trailer the other day, so I will be getting out a part 2 trailer to that just before chapter 3. So there is a lot to look forward to in the channel, guys. But anyway, that's it from me today. Hopefully you guys did enjoy today's video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we shall see you guys in the next one. Alright, so guys, I literally just finished editing this video until I came across something that really caught my eye. Now I'm going to put these two images right next to each other and try and look at the similarities in this. But as you can see, Pony's infected state has a white eye on the left, as well as a sort of circular eye on the right. And long behold, so does Mr. Stitchy. Guys, this could actually be huge. This could potentially be Pony, or even more, Pony's dad. We know that Pony's dad is going to be a character in Piggy at some time very soon, and maybe Mr. Stitchy could be Pony's dad. Guys, I don't know. This is really hard. I feel like this could either be George or something to do with Pony. But guys, we'll get another video on that tomorrow. But anyway, thank you all for joining. We'll see you guys in the next one.